Okay, welcome to Worldwide Hustlers. This is Matt Albert, and today we're going to be covering 8 things you should quit today. Now, let me ask you a question. Is there anything that in your life that you consider not good that you're doing that you could do better on, or something that you would like to stop doing? Is there anything? And I'm sure there is, because every one of us have it, even myself. It's continuous improvement that I need to always work on. And these are the 8 things that I'm going to cover right now. So without further delay, roll the footage. Okay, welcome back. So number 1 on the list that I have is trying to please everybody. Do you ever stop and ask yourself why you say certain things to certain people? Because right now, out of 7.2 billion people on this planet, there's no way in the world you're going to make everybody happy. It's just not going to happen. So there's a difference in between being yourself and trying to please other people. Big difference. Pleasing other people is one thing. Being yourself and then them being happy from it, that's different. You want to be who you are. Trying to please everybody never works. Like I said, there's 7.2 billion people. You're never going to please everybody. There's so many things outside of you externally that you can't change. But there's one thing that you can change, and there's one thing that you can work on, and that's you, yourself. So the first thing that I'm going to go over is what you say doesn't match what you're thinking. So an example is a buddy says, hey, can you come over tomorrow to help me out, or what have you? And you say out loud, yeah, I got you. I'll help you out. But in your head, you're thinking, man, I don't want to do that. So you got 2 different things going on there. You got what you said and what you're thinking. And in the middle, there's a gap. But normally, you have like this little, let's say your internal voice is talking to you. And your internal voice is like, yeah, go ahead and say that. We know we don't really want to, but now over time, that internal voice starts to go bye-bye. And then eventually you start to form this bad habit of always saying yes. You become a yes person, which is not good, because you need to be able to be assertive and assert yourself and say no sometimes. It's okay. Saying no gives you freedom. Saying no keeps you alive. Saying no keeps you happy. So you need to be able to say no sometimes. Maybe not always, but you need to be able to say no sometimes. Another thing is, I call them secret contracts. So an example would be, people usually will do something for someone else in return for a favor. But guess what? It's a secret contract. They don't say anything. They just do something for you, but they're thinking in the back of their head, hey, there's going to be something from this later. So, and on the surface, you're doing something that's kind, but you're really expecting something in return. And guess what happens when you don't get something back? You're pissed. You're resentful. You're like, I can't believe this. I did this and they didn't do anything. But they didn't know what you were thinking. You were the one thinking it, not them. It's a secret contract that you have. Or maybe you're at work and you do all this extra work for your boss. You're doing, all these extra expectations, and you're raising your standard. You're thinking, I'm going to get a pay raise, or, I'm going to get a bigger bonus. And it doesn't happen, because you were the only one that knew about this contract. Your boss never knew it. So again, you're resentful, you're pissed off. So the bottom line is, there's 2 things you can do solution-wise. Think of the first solution. Think of a person that, let's say, you always say yes to. Now think in your head, okay, you want to say this in your head, okay, if I knew that this person would handle it well, what would you do? Would you say yes or no? And if you knew that you could say no, and your friend or whoever wouldn't get mad or anything, or would even care about it, then you would probably say, wow, that was easy. Just like if you're at work and you're in a meeting and you're usually laughing at the boss's jokes, and then all of a sudden you're like, you know what, they're really not that funny, I'm not going to laugh now. Boss comes in, makes a joke, you don't laugh, and guess what? He doesn't even care. So for the last 3.5 years, you've been sitting there laughing for no reason. So that's something to do. That's one solution. Another solution would be to be consistent with your personality. Meaning, if you're with a group of people, if you're the type of person that likes to help others or make them laugh or what have you, then that's who you are, right? You can't change that. That's a good thing. You're contributing. It's one of the 6 needs. So if you're in a group of people, just because you go to another group of people and they're different doesn't mean you have to be different. Still be who you were. Be consistent with that. And that will keep you away from your, basically trying to please everybody. So number 1 was trying to please everyone. Number 2 on the list, fear change. So many people fear change. And to be honest with you, I don't get that. Change, you have to be able to change in life. That's the only way to grow. Okay, when you were 7 years old, if you kept doing what you were doing at the age of 7 and now you're, let's say, in your 30s, that would look pretty awkward, wouldn't it? Riding around on your tricycle outside, oh my God, I have a flat tire, I can't fix it. You have to change. So most people would rather things be not so great than go through the risk and process of change. They hate it. They hate it with a passion. There's things that I don't want to change on, let's just say. I get used to a certain thing. I like consistency. But you do have to be able to change. In order to overcome fear, you have to change. Because if there's something that you fear, then there's going to be something that you have to do to overcome that, which means you're going to have to change. I once read a book that said, and I remember this, and it's been a while, do the things that you fear to do, and you will gain the power to do them. And I thought, wow, that was pretty neat. I really like that. I remember it to this day, and it's been a little bit. But guess what? The next 5 years, I can tell you right now what the next 5 years holds for you. And you know what that is? All you have to do is look at your last 5. If you keep doing what you're doing, you'll keep getting what you're getting. So if you take these 5 years and you just do the same thing, then you're just going to get the next 5. You're never going to change, right? You're going to stay in debt. You're going to stay out of shape. You're going to keep fearing all this stuff. Maybe you want to get out into, maybe you're afraid to speak in front of the public and you want to do a public speaking thing, but you never work on it. You fear it. As a matter of fact, I think public speaking is like number 1 for fear. Okay, so some people, they don't like uncertainty, and that's part of this, because in order to change, you fear it, but there's some uncertainty there, and that's okay. Like I said, change is growth, and growth is life. And life's not fair, but life's good. It's tough, but it's not fair. But you're going to have to move along. Becoming stronger, wiser, better. I mean, these all require some type of change. So turning a bad habit into a good habit, obviously you have to change. So if you have bad habits and you fear changing them, why would you? Especially if it's going to make you a better person. If you will change, everything will change for you. You have to change. Okay, number 3 on the list, living in the past. Okay, there's nothing wrong with reminiscing about your past, but having a brief moment, the good old days, but you can't live there. Okay, so I'm going to give you 6 signs that will tell you if you're living in the past. The first one is holding on to grudges. Let's say that you're driving down the road, somebody cuts you off, and you're pissed off. You're pissed off all freaking day. You're at work complaining about it. You're in the break room. You're like, this guy. And the guy that cut you off, he doesn't even know. He just drove by. He has no clue he even cut you off. But you're mad about it. So you're sitting there holding all this grudge on. And they always say that acid does more damage to the container that it's inside of than what you poured on. So you got to let that stuff go, or it'll tear you up on the inside. Another one is blaming yourself for everything. I mean, holding yourself accountable isn't the same as blaming yourself. Being accountable and having personal responsibility is the highest form of maturity that I know of to a fellow human being. But blaming yourself for everything, that's never going to work. And that's part of living in the past. Okay, another one is losing yourself in nostalgia. So basically, overindulging in the past. Stay away from that one too. Okay, you can't live there in the past. You can visit it, but don't live there. Another one is rejecting new opportunities. This will let you know that you're living in the past. If you have an opportunity, take advantage of it, because rarely will a good ideal interrupt you. Remember that. That's another thing. People don't take the time to look around. There's opportunities around. You have to grab them. Do you want to get into real estate? Do you want to become an affiliate marketer? Do you want to start this YouTube channel like I did? But you got to change in order to get into this new opportunity, right? So another one, number 5, is I'm going to say you're not looking forward to anything. You're always like, maybe I don't know whether you've reached this point in your life where you think you've done it all, or you're going into semi-retirement, or maybe you're retired. But when you're not looking forward to anything, to me that puts a lid on the bottle. It's kind of like you're done growing, and that's not good. So those are the five, or that's number five. And number six, you don't have any plans for the future. So you don't know what you want to do, let's say after college. You're in college right now, you don't know what you want to do. You have no plan on where you want to go. It's kind of like being in a boat without a sail. You're just out there in the water drifting, and that's not good. So, or maybe you're getting out of the military and you don't know what you want to do. Maybe you need to stay in the military and do your 20 years and then retire and then get out. And then in a matter of that time, you can figure out what you want to do. So those 6 items are basically signs that are preventing you from moving forward, that cause you to live in the past, which was number 3. Okay, number 4 is overthinking. So you have these stressful, overthinking it's never good. You get people like, let's say you're getting ready to buy a house. Okay, thinking about where the closing is going to take place and making sure you have your documents and making sure, the bank accounts, everything's looking good. That's one thing. But stressing out about it and overthinking about it, like, oh my God, I'm getting ready to buy this house. I'm going into debt. I don't know if I want to do this. All this overthinking, it's basically not good. So you have stressful daydreams that can do this, where, you just wake up and you just feel not good. Maybe you feel vulnerable all the time. Okay, that's not good. That's from overthinking, right? You're indecisive. You cannot make a decision. You have to be able to make decisions. All right, decision making is actually very, very important. But overthinking will prevent you from making a decision. You'll get paralysis of analysis. You can't concentrate. You're constantly anxious. You're in a bad mood and it never goes away. These are all from overthinking. So stop overthinking and just kind of let your thoughts go and think methodically and move on. Okay, take a breather, if you will. Okay, number 5 on the list, being afraid to be different. Okay, it is simply impossible to be genuinely happy like all the time. But you can't be happy if you're not genuinely yourself. You have to be you, okay? You must be yourself if you want to experience your true purpose in life. You have to be you. There's only one you, all right? 7.2 billion people on the planet, and there's only you. That's it. So don't be afraid to be different. Okay, you being alive right now on this planet, on this blue dot that we call the planet, is 1 out of 400 trillion. They say that's like a triple miracle. For you to be alive right now on this planet as you're watching this video, that's 1 out of 400 trillion chances. So, and would it be, why would you not want to be different? What if everybody was the same color? They were all green. We're all 5'7", we're all green, we all said the same thing all the time. I think that would be pretty boring. So don't be afraid to be different. Okay, life isn't about just fitting in. It's about being yourself. You need to be yourself and be grateful for that. So it's better to be hated in life and be you than to be loved and not be you. Let's put it that way. So don't be afraid to be different. So from there, you'll find your true happiness, because happiness comes from within, and it's from being who you are and not trying to be somebody else. Okay, number 6 on the list, sacrificing your happiness for others. Right now, there are literally thousands of people out there that want to suck the happiness out of you. They could be probably doing this unconsciously. They don't even realize it. But there's a lot of people out there that are not happy, and by sucking out your happiness and bringing you down, it brings them up. So don't fall for this where you think, again, it kind of goes back to trying to make everybody happy, but don't sacrifice your happiness. It's similar to like being at work. There's always a safety issue the way I look at this. When I'm at work, I know for a fact if I'm not staying on top of my game and keeping a vigilance, there's going to be a safety incident one way or another. It isn't whether it's going to be one, it's when. And the same thing applies to this. There are thousands of people out there that will take your happiness from you every time. They don't want you to be happy. They don't want you to be successful. It hurts them. They don't like to see it. They're jealous. They envy that. So quit trying to basically sacrifice your happiness for other people. Some people think that maybe if they make everyone else around them happy, that they're going to be happy. Or they hate arguments, so they basically let the other person win all the time. And this is like not good. You do need to assert yourself, especially if you consider something valuable in your life and important to you, then you need to defend that. So and that will make you, believe it or not, that'll make you feel better because you're actually taking a stand. So, and in the end, you'll end up basically just sacrificing everything for everybody if you don't do this. So quit trying to sacrifice your happiness for others and assert yourself and be who you are. Okay, number 7 on the list is thinking you're not good enough. So when you just sit around and you have these negative thoughts all the time, basically what it's doing is it's killing your self-esteem. So one solution is to work on your self-esteem, meaning start getting better at what you do. I don't know what you do. I don't know what you're good at. I don't know what you want to do. But whatever that might be, start becoming better at it. One thing that I will say is, like I said earlier, you're 1 out of 400 trillion chances of being alive. So if you don't think you're good enough, that's definitely not the case. You're good. You're good at anything you do, but you just need to apply yourself and you need to take action. Because remember, in life, the objective of life is to take action and not just sit there. Because life is about growth, and growth is about moving, and it's emotions. So you want to be able to basically take hold of what you got and move on. So, but thinking that you're not good enough, that's one of those 7 deadly sins, and that's one of the 8 things that you need to quit today. So the way I'd see it is a great way to increase your self-esteem for me is through fitness, because fitness touches everything you do. And remember, if you look good, you feel good. So if you take care of yourself and you're fit and you know you are and you're strong and things like that and you're getting better, that's going to increase your self-esteem, and that will do away with you thinking you're not good enough. So something to think about. There's a little nugget for you. Okay, number 8, the last one on the list, is thinking you have no purpose in life. Okay, and if you do not know where you're going and you have no plan, then you need to figure one out. There's something that you're good at. And so what I want you to do is, I've got some items here. Sit down and do some serious thinking and ask yourself one of these or all of these. So what comes natural to you? What's just something that you're natural at, that you're good at? You didn't even have to, like, I don't know, maybe you was born with it, but you're just really good at it. It comes to you like second nature, not a big deal. Okay, what is that? What would you do if money was not a concern? If you had no qualms with money and you could do whatever, what would you do? What about, what do you enjoy doing that you lose track of time? Have you ever done something that you just love to do and then you look over and it's really late at night and you're like, wow. And I'm not talking about watching Netflix and binging. I'm talking about doing something, applying yourself. What do friends appreciate about you? I mean, ask around. Ask some of your buddies. Get on social media and say, hey, what do you guys like that I do? Okay, but find out what they can give you some insight on that. What are you excited about doing, or what are you excited about being better at? That's another question. And then the last one is, what is your life's purpose? So you need to reflect on this. Go somewhere, sit down, and just do some real thinking. So what is your purpose? Because thinking that you have no purpose, that doesn't make any sense. Everybody has a purpose. Everybody's here for something, or there's something that you can do, or there's something you can be better at, become, that will help others, that will increase your life and make you feel better. So quit thinking that you have no purpose, because you really do. Everybody does, okay? All right, so anyway, my question is, which of these 8 things are you going to stop doing right now? So if you would, down in the comments, please comment below, which of these 8 things are you going to stop doing? And this wraps up the 8 things to quit today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please share with somebody that this could help. Please smash the like button if you have not, and subscribe if you're new, and I will see you on the next video.